take. The fun features we're here to stay. Ready, set, replay.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready, Set, Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
I'm here to game.
And today we're going to be talking about Syphon Filter 2. But Skyler, there's something we must do before we talk about Syphon Filter 2.
I'm ready for it.
We gotta rewind the clock all the way back to March 14th of the year 2000.
Technically, we're winding the clock forward from the last time we wound it.
Yeah, but by about a week, so it took us 2 weeks in between recording, so we still would have to go back like another week, assuming that it progressed at normal time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
But we still have to go back.
so I gotta go back. So,
Yeah, makes sense.
what's happening in the world today? Well, on the 7th, a lot of new albums dropped. Would you believe it?
Yeah, music. That's what we did in 2000, was music.
Apparently so. And this week in particular, some good things happened. We got the debut album of Disturbed, called
Nice.
The Sickness. Ooh, wah, ah, ah.
Yeah. I'm actually not a fan of that.
You don't like that song? Yeah, it's a
no, not
classic, but
really.
I don't think I would ever just like casually listen to it.
It is a classic in the sense that everyone knows it, but like that song, me personally, when I listen to it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it, and then it just gets worse. So I
That's
mean,
fair. There is
hot
that
take.
one part in the middle there where he just like starts having a conniption. He's like, "Mommy, don't hurt me!" Like,
Yeah,
for a while,
yeah.
it's a bit.
And I
much.
get
It's-
it.
It's kind of a
he's
lot.
He's fully lost in his art, but unfortunately, he also loses me. So
He's lost in the
respect, but
sauce.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
Well, more your speed, I know for a fact, is Nickelback also put out an album called The State.
You're gonna get me to say I don't like Disturbed and that I do like Nickelback in the same recording.
Yeah.
Nice try, Buckaroo.
Yeah, good
You
band.
can't. You're not gonna get that on recording.
Ooh. I listened to all of these albums. This one was the only one that didn't have like even one song in it that I was like, oh yeah, there's that one. Listen to the whole thing, didn't know any of them. So
It is true,
sorry,
though. I
Nickelback, The State.
I think Nickelback is overhated. Which The State?
Yeah,
What's on that one?
a lot of nothing. the title song is called Breathe, and I thought it was going to be a different song than it turned out to be. Wasn't a fan of it.
None of the ones people sing secretly because they actually like Nickelback.
Yeah, none of the ones that you sing loudly. Also, same day, all of this the same day, Flogging Molly put out Swagger. Which,
I like Flogging Molly.
Which features the song Selfish Man, which is one that I think I've heard about 100 times in my lifetime.
Mhm.
Big fan of Flogging Molly. Was Flogging Molly big in your house, or is it because I'm Scottish?
No, I just went through a punk rock phase in high school, and they happened to hit my criteria for some reason.
I guess that, I guess they would count as that. I really think
Yeah.
of them more as just like, they're the Scottish guys, or I think
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
they're even
yeah.
Irish, but The Billboard Top 5 is as such. Number 1 is Say My Name by Beyonce and Those Girls, Destiny's Child. Last week it was in position 14. It has jumped all the way up to number 1. So something happened. Amazed by Lone Star has thusly been bumped to 2. Maria Maria by Santana has been dropped to 3. Breathe by Faith Hill is 4. And then the only other one rising up from the shadows is Bye 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 by NSYNC, coming up from number 6 to number 5.
They're sneaking up. They're gonna get us.
They're going to get us. In the box office, your realm of expertise, the number 1 movie is one that has just come out called Mission to Mars from Disney. Are you familiar? Do you know?
I am familiar with Mission to Mars. I don't think I've ever seen it, but Disneyland used to have a whole Mission to Mars exhibit, presumably around the time that this came out.
Yeah. So I did some research into it, and it seems like a large portion of why that exhibit existed was to try and justify some of the cost that they spent on making all of the props, which is why like the suits and I think some
Yeah.
models of the ships and stuff were there. Is they were like, no, see,
Yeah,
it's a part of a ride now or something.
It's a Brian De Palma movie. That's crazy.
It is Brian De Palma directing. It is Tim Robbins, Gary Sinise, Don Cheadle, Connie Nielsen, and Jerry O'Connell. It is about
Really some
one
names.
team of astronauts that I don't think we really get to know any of them other than Don Cheadle, goes to Mars, and then they go missing. And then a second team with all of those other actors whose names I just said have to go and find them. Gotta go save Don Cheadle, or the War Machine can never happen.
I see here on the Wikipedia page, it says that there's an event that creates an electromagnetic pulse, which means certainly at some point somebody has to explain to the audience what an electromagnetic pulse is, because that's what you do in movies.
It's possible. All I really know about the plot is that from the trailer, there's like a sandworm, by which I mean it's like a worm made out of sand that eats some people. And that also there's like at least one scene where somebody takes their mask off in space and then freezes to death, like that guy from Magic School Bus.
Yeah, Arnold.
Yeah, I knew that's where you were gonna go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he did it first.
I don't know what the timeline on that is, but maybe. Roger Ebert gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars and said, "I can't recommend Mission to Mars. It misses too many of its marks, but it has extraordinary things in it. It's as if the director, the gifted Brian De Palma, rises to the occasions, but the screenplay gives him nothing much to do in between. It was old Howard Hawks who supplied this definition of a good movie. 3 great scenes and no bad scenes. Mission to Mars only gets the first part right." I just wanted to...
But what did Gene Siskel give it? That's what I
think he may have already been dead.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. It's just his popped up when I looked up the movie, so I threw it in here. Number 2 in the box office is another new movie called The Ninth Gate. It is from Artisan Entertainment, starring Johnny Depp, and being directed by Roman Polanski. Depp.
What day are we on here? What day is this?
March 14th of the year 2000.
March 14th. February 20th, 1999. Gene Siskel's passing. So we're just over a year out. God rest his soul.
R.I.P. to a real one. The Ninth Gate is about Johnny Depp plays a rare book dealer who's at the center of a string of paranormal events when he is hired to find the last 2 copies of a text capable of summoning the devil. It's like, I don't know, it's like Johnny Depp, but he's in Constantine, I guess.
Yeah, all right. That seems like something people would watch in 2000.
Yeah, I don't know. It was number 2 in the box office. The other 3 were ones that we've already talked about. Number 3 is My Dog Skip from Warner Brothers. Number 4 is American Beauty from DreamWorks. And number 5 is Snow Day from Paramount. In the world, outside of this, not a ton was happening. I was looking up sports and things, and really nothing super exciting happened. The only thing in the news that really popped up was on the 12th, Pope John Paul II made it. There was a huge, like, what's it called? A jubilee to celebrate the millennia. And
you were going to say he died. In this
no, he doesn't die until 2005. I also looked that up.
Okay.
But Pope John Paul II, he was like sort of known as being like the first sort of, I want to say liberal pope. That's not correct. He takes like one step in that direction further than any other pope before him. He still like, hates gay people and abortions, but he did on the 12th during the Jubilee have a whole thing where he apologized for the crimes of the church.
Hey, cool. All right. Yeah. You know what? Baby steps. We'll take that.
It's a step in the right direction and a pretty big one. Apparently, this is something that he did multiple times throughout his career as Pope. His papacy, I think it's called, or something. Papacy. I don't know.
He's the Pope version of if you told George Clooney you saw Batman and Robin, he'd give you your money back.
Yeah, maybe. So he's did it a couple times throughout his career. He apologized very specifically to like women for being suppressed by Christianity. He apologized to the Jews for like Christian inactivity during World War II, I guess, and also for the like involvement of Christian missionaries in the slave trade. This one in particular was more specifically about the crimes committed by the church during the Crusades, and even more specifically, the sacking of Constantinople. So he did a bunch of stuff. He like went around. It really was just like a, hey, oh man, we're sorry. There wasn't like a ton of like paying reparations. There's a little bit, but not a ton. But he was a person who, for all of his many flaws, did bring to light a lot of the issues that the Catholic Church had, and made steps to start correcting those things. He was also the Pope who was in charge at the time that all of the like sex scandal stuff started coming out. And I think it is generally believed that he wanted that to get out so that he would have more ability to stop it.
So he'd be able to apologize for it.
I mean, yeah, I guess. And the only other thing in the news that happened was that the USD, the United States dollar, became the official currency of Ecuador, of all things.
Hey, welcome aboard,
Welcome aboard,
guys.
Ecuador. It was a
And
better time then. I hope you
we're
don't regret
really
it now.
we're really sorry.
Yeah, oops.
Just like the Pope, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, literally, our next president will have to make a similar number of apologies. But
Mm.
Skylar,
Mm.
now here we are, March 14th. The Pope has apologized, and Disturbed is out on the
Yep.
streets.
Yeah.
Everything is right in the world, and Syphon Filter 2 has just hit the shelves. It is a
Cool.
PlayStation 1 exclusive coming from the studio Eidetic, which is now known as Sony Bend. The only game that they made prior to this, and not including the first Syphon Filter, was, I shit thee nay, Bubsy 3D.
Oh, hell yes.
Hell yeah, brother. This team is being led by John Garvin, who only just recently left PlayStation after they told him that he would not be able to make a sequel to Days Gone. And this franchise was largely inspired by PlayStation's desire to have their own version of GoldenEye or Metal Gear Solid. And this is what they came up with.
Yeah.
In the world of reviews, it currently sits with a 81.5 average rating, according to Metacritic. Didn't exist for this game at the time, so there was actually a different aggregator that I had to find online, literally, that only still exists through the Wayback Machine. Jeff Gerstmann from GameSpot gave it a 6.6 and said, if you were a big fan of Syphon Filter, you may get a kick out of the sequel, but the lackluster mission design and super convoluted story really cancel out the improvements to the game's control. If you missed the first game, it's a much better and likely cheaper game than Syphon Filter 2.
I'm sorry. Did you say improvements to the game control?
Yeah.
That's interesting. We'll get into that.
Doug Perry from IGN gave it an 8.9 and said, the old cliche holds true here. If you loved the first, you'll love the second. But just be aware of what you ask for. SF2 is more of the same. Greater levels, more simplistic story, more trial and error gameplay, and despite all of those problems, the game is still near great. The two-player mode, in my opinion, is a killer addition and is equal, if not better, than the deathmatch levels in Medal of Honor. My biggest disappointment with SF2 is that once I reached the 9th level, I simply didn't care to finish the game. Gave it an 8.9. Of course, I did
Okay,
finish
cool.
it, but I was dulled by repetition. And while I wish I weren't, it's written poorly. And while I wish it weren't, it happened. So would I buy the game? Absolutely. It satisfies that primal video game urge to sneak around and snipe enemies or to simply blow them away. It's still
Yeah.
a great action game. Skylar,
Yeah.
how are you feeling about Syphon Filter 2?
So first I'll say
Yeah.
this is my first Syphon Filter game I played. I have not played 1, nor 3, nor the small handful of spin-offs that I don't know if they matter. Jumped right into this one.
Would you like me to read to you what they gave you in the manual as a sort of lead into the story for 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because Syphon Filter 2 takes place 4 hours after the end of Syphon Filter 1.
Yeah, I kind of gathered that.
It is
Right,
immediately
right.
afterwards.
So I think Syphon Filter 1 came out the year before this,
It came
right?
out in 99, yeah.
Yeah, so quick turnaround. The game starts and you immediately are like, okay. I think by the second level is where it's the most clear. Like, okay, the last game clearly just ended.
We just finished this. This is
Yeah.
chapter
So
2.
what's the manual say?
The manual has one page that says mission background. It says, seemingly unrelated and troubling events headline international news reports. Innocent civilians are gunned down in the Heilongjiang province of China. A nuclear missile is destroyed seconds before detonating over Kazakhstan. Tensions surge between the US and China when sensitive data is leaked to a dissident Chinese group. Corrupt elements within the agency, a super secret US intelligence group, are the driving force behind all these dangerous events. Using the biotech firm Farcom, they developed a virus named Syphon Filter. Syphon Filter is the ultimate biological weapon, and it's for sale. The buyers will become the first terrorist superpower. The agency operatives, Gabe Logan and Liang Xing, discover the plot within their own organization. They are now attempting to expose the Syphon Filter conspirators and stop the sale in response. The agency has alerted the military and law enforcement that Gabe Logan and Leon should be eliminated. Agency motives become clearer as Gabe Logan discovers Farcom CEO Jonathan Fagan's private files on the virus. Then Leon herself, infected with Syphon Filter, is kidnapped for use as an agency guinea pig. Gabe must find the vaccine to save Leon's life as she attempts an escape from her captors. Branded as criminals by their own government, Gabe and Leon must strike with deadly efficiency while leaving innocent personnel unharmed. Ex-agent Teresa Lipan, who operates a clandestine spy network, will assist both Gabe and Leon by coordinating missions from her desert base. The agents make every move knowing that a traitor, could turn the knife at any moment. Makes it sound like real big, like a lot's happening.
Yeah, a lot of the preamble stuff that you read, like the something foreign affairs China, like my eyes glazed over, and I just wasn't hearing any of it. It's very par for the course story wise. There's
Yeah.
nothing here that we haven't seen before, or definitely a million times since, as far as the espionage action genre goes.
Yeah,
I,
it very clearly is like we are trying to do like a James Bond sort of thing. Like we're
Mhm.
trying to be that spy guy. I
And
think the story. I didn't play the first one, obviously. I think the
yeah,
story in this is pretty badly told. Like if it didn't have the little paragraphs between every level telling you like what to do and what was happening, I would
mm,
have no idea. I would not
yeah.
know where or why I
And if
was doing anything.
and if you're stupid like me and you just skipped those sometimes,
Oh,
uh,
good.
you- you're in for a hell of a time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off here.
Yeah.
Didn't care for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been clear to me for several days. Little peek behind the curtains. He beat the game like at least a week before me, and
Mm.
since then has been like basically being like, yeah, you should spend more time with it. Really enjoy that.
Yeah, just
You should really get
get some
in
hours
there.
into it, you know? Just
Yeah.
yeah, the manual warned you about the person twisting the knife, and it was
It
me.
was Skyler, the true trader, the real Syphon Filter.
Yeah, I kept saying to people in my life that were aware I was playing this, that this really reads to me like a mix between Metal Gear,
Mm,
like it's fairly one-to-one Metal Gear, and whereas the Metal Gear is a big Gundam thing, big robot, right? Not a Gundam, but a big robot.
sure.
And here the Siphon Filter is a virus, so it's like kind of the same thing, but a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it is a way for a small group to do big damage. So,
Sure, yeah.
yeah,
So
in that way, it is the same.
it's a mix between Metal Gear, both story and kind of setting and gameplay wise. And what I chose to equate it to was Perfect Dark, because
Because we
we've
just
already
played
played
that.
Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
But I said it's like those two things if the controls were made out of diarrhea.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the Perfect Dark controls were also like not amazing. Yeah,
Man, I
shooting
don't
in that
know.
was also like not a
They're
lot of
better than
fun.
this.
Yeah.
Now I did eventually get the hang of it, but it still never felt good. I need to say, so when I was playing this, my first thought was like, this is interesting. Do people like this game? And as you've pointed out in the reviews that we've heard,
Mm,
the answer is not really. But the internet nowadays would trick you,
yeah.
because the only people that still talk about it are the diehard fans. There are
The
people out there
old
that
men.
love this. And
Mhm.
it made me feel like, oh, am I an asshole? Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. In fact, I'm happy people like this. Good for you guys. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're good at these controls. I wasn't. In fact, anytime you hit an enemy that you have to pull off a headshot really fast, it's like, hold the hell on. Wait a minute. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, yeah, because basically you had told me beforehand that like the controls of it were really bad before I even started playing it, and so I went in sort of with that expectation, and they are bad. Like they're
Yeah.
quite bad. I will say though, I think the first level is
Yeah.
like maybe the worst first impression I've had with a video game. Like certainly in a long time. I cannot remember. Like that first level is terrible. The
I think so
Colorado
too.
mountain
I,
thing.
I think when you get to the point, because you're just kind of going along, learning what's going on, and you get to that point where the game teaches you you have to pull off headshots on certain enemies.
Most enemies, it feels
And
like.
yeah, well, it definitely becomes most enemies by the end. And that was like the hardest learning curve right there.
Yeah.
Um, and I will say, and it makes sense knowing that it's a PS1 game. The immediate thing to know about this game and its controls is, don't use the stick, use the D-pad.
Oh, see, I
Because
I never used the D-pad like at all.
by the time that I was like, wait a minute, I need to use the D-pad here, because that made basically running and turning left and right easier, and it made aiming easier to an extent. There were still a lot of times I was using the stick just fallback, but
Mm.
I'd be like, wait, no, PlayStation 1 game, there was no stick, use the D-pad. And then I was like, okay, yeah, this is a little easier.
The controls are definitely like rough. I think the shooting, it just doesn't feel good really at any point. It's not, I don't know, it's not terrible, I guess. Like after that first level, I was able to get things done to the point where it was like there was still a lot of trial and error. Like you would run around a corner and some guy would just like headshot you super fast and you'd be like, well, okay,
100%, yeah.
cool, guess I'll just get screwed. But like, yeah, I think by like the second or third level I had gotten at least comfortable enough with the controls that I was able to survive and like play the
Well,
game.
the second
um
level was a stealth mission,
yeah,
and that one was more like, okay, I get it.
yeah, that one still felt very trial and error though to me. I think the
The
stealth, I mean, stealth is in my opinion almost never good. Like I think that it is a very
I
rare exception that a
definitely
video game can make
I
it feel
definitely
fun.
don't prefer stealth in stuff like this. And this game in particular, as well as you'd assume a lot of older games, there's the problem of like, where's their detection radius? So
Yeah.
you would just be like getting spot, like it seems like through a wall, whether or not that's actually the case. But like, I don't know, just an excuse not to do combat, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange because I would say the way it breaks down at the beginning is like when you're playing as Gabe, you're going to be shooting a ton of dudes, and then when you're playing as Leon, you're typically more stealthy or like you're fighting people who you can't kill, so you have to tase them a bunch. So I ended up enjoying playing as Leon significantly more, at least at first.
Yeah.
Her levels kind of petered off and got kind of lame at the end, but I had more fun with her at first because I feel like her levels felt like better ways to learn the controls. Whereas that first level, your plane gets shot out of the sky, you parachute in, and you're just immediately getting shot at by like six dudes, and you have to learn
It
like,
dropped you in the shit.
yeah, and it's like you have to hit them with headshots. They constantly respawn. Like on level 1, they're hitting you with nonstop enemies. So then you have to be able to like run around. You're still trying to figure out how like the weird tank control running works, which doesn't feel good. Tank controls are never a good idea. The shooting controls are inverted, and there was seemingly no way to change that. And then even on top of that, because I was playing through on PlayStation 5 through like basically an emulator that, I mean, I just bought the game, but effectively they're just emulating it on the PS5. And so it's been stretched, but they didn't do a good job of like bringing it forward to PS5. So you have to go into the video settings and change the aspect ratio on it, because if you don't, then the whole time you're walking, all the textures are like vibrating and moving in a way that like is really hurtful to the eyes and like cannot, like, it makes it significantly harder to see what you're doing or like even get the gun to point the right direction. So like that first level is such a bad first impression that I was like, bro, I hope this is a short game. It's like 21 missions. It's not that. It's really not short.
It's not short. By the time that I finished the first mission, I also was counting how many missions were.
Yeah, I was checking the trophies.
Do I really have to do this whole thing? Which sounds like a baby complaint. Oh, I have to play this video game. But yeah, it didn't like. There are points where it got better. I liked the train mission where you had to just
the
run
train
to
is
the top.
fun.
I think that was the most. That was when I was like, okay, I'm having fun, and it's like right in the middle of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think I ever hit that level of fun in this game again. But I saw where fun could be had.
Yeah.
So
I think for me the standout like good moments were the train for sure, because it's very straightforward. You basically just you gotta get to the front of the train before it explodes, more or less. I liked the prison missions with Leon. I thought those were fun because
sure,
there
yeah,
was
that
like
was
some
good.
interesting stuff going on where it's like, oh, and you have to like also, hey, the people who are in this prison are like political prisoners. If you can help them, you should do that. So like there was some fun stuff going on there. I would say most of the other levels are like not bad. I didn't have a lot of fun with them. I didn't think that they were necessarily bad though, except
Yeah.
for that opening mission and the first boss fight. Those for me were like absolutely not, go fuck yourself. The first boss fight with, I think his name was Morgan. Yeah.
Oh, where you have to. No, I don't remember that.
The
Wait, where is this?
This is inside the Farcom like Expo thing, which you'll probably remember as the level that starts with you breaking into a window, with the World Trade Centers in the background.
I'm sorry, did we play the same game? I don't remember this at all.
It's the one where like you're going through and there's like there's like an Egypt section and then there's like a China section. It's like a museum.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, so he's got a grenade launcher. He
Yeah.
gets a grenade launcher.
Yeah, and it's straight up
You have to
bullshit.
defuse the bombs and all
Yeah,
that
diffusing the bombs
shit.
is not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
bad. Like the whole level leading up
No.
to it is pretty straightforward, pretty easy, I would say. Some of the stealth parts of it are like very trial and error, where it's like, oh, there was a guy around that corner that I had literally no way of knowing was there, so oops, gotta restart. But you get to the boss fight, and it's in two sections. First, you just have to like not die for long enough for your friend Teresa to finish defusing the last bomb because he's for some reason trying to
Yeah.
blow up the building. I really don't remember why, but then you finally get to actually fight him, and it's like, okay, well, he's constantly running in a circle around this room. If he sees you for 1 nanosecond, he will snap and shoot you with a grenade launcher that is a one-shot kill no matter what, how much health or how much armor you have, and you have to hit him with a headshot because he's wearing a flak jacket. So you
Yeah.
have to line up a headshot fast enough that you can kill him before he fires, because it's not enough that you kill him. It won't start the cutscene fast enough, and you won't be able to back out of aiming and roll out of the way fast enough for the grenade to not kill you. So I definitely
Yeah.
shot him like about 6 times and killed him 6 times, only to immediately get killed by the grenade that was in midair before the cutscene could play.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, this is bullshit. This is really stupid. This sucks ass.
Yeah,
And eventually
the,
just got lucky. Got him dead before you could pull the trigger.
There's the way that they do, because you have your armor and you have a health,
Yeah.
and because like armors work by you pick up these flak jackets, and that's basically your main health. Because if you're at a point where you're without armor, you're more or less screwed.
Yeah.
And then other than that, there's a little danger meter that'll show up, which, as far as I can tell, runs based on how many people have you in their line of sight and how close you are to those people. So if there's like 3 guys in a room, that thing's gonna fill up really fast, and as soon as it's like full, that just means that anybody anywhere can headshot delete you,
Yeah, you just
you're
die
just
immediately.
done.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is insane.
It's
And
a
then,
one-shot kill. It's
God
not.
forbid, you're fighting someone with like a ranged explosive weapon, like a grenade launcher, where they just have to shoot somewhat near you,
Anywhere near you.
with
Yeah.
with perfect aim.
Explosives
you're-
in this game
you're
were
done.
broken. Like anytime, like there's also that mission in Moscow. I think it's like the first bit where you go into the disco, and like Gregorov is running away from you, and the first like 3 people run in, and you can take out the first person super easy, but then 2 of the people down on the ground floor below you, like on the
They're
dance
throwing
floor,
grenades at
they
you
just throw grenades, and
constantly.
they have infinite grenades, of course. And so it's just like, okay, so I have to like find a place where I can shoot one of them faster than they can throw the grenade, because otherwise I'm just screwed. So again,
Yeah.
like a lot of time when it was just like, well, the enemies in this area have explosives, what that meant to me was like, I'm gonna be stuck here for a little while until I just get lucky.
And if memory serves, the grenade just kind of like plops on the ground next to you. There's no mark. So if you're not looking in the direction where the grenade is thrown, you don't know it's there.
Yeah, you gotta be paying attention. There's not
Oh.
like there's not a grenade
If you-
indicator of
you're-
any kind.
If you're, say, looking off to the right, trying to get a headshot on one of the multiple enemies you have to get a headshot on,
Yeah.
zoomed in on the reticle, and there's a grenade at your foot that you didn't see somebody from the floor beneath you throw,
Yeah,
you're blown up. You
You're
have already
screwed.
lost. By the time that grenade is thrown, you've already lost.
yeah, it's pretty rough.
I think the perfect word to describe this game is frustrating.
It's yeah, I think that's definitely fair. I think I had less frustration with it than you. But even then it was like, because I would get stuck on like specific sections and I'd be like, okay, this sucks. But then between those sections I would have like 4 levels where I didn't have too much trouble, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this is just like a game.
There were a handful of levels that I, coasted through pretty easy, I guess.
Yeah, for me, really, my bigger issue was like I was trying so hard to pay attention to what was happening, and I felt like I felt like this game, and I guess this is on me to an extent, playing Syphon Filter 2 and not having looked at Syphon Filter 1, but I felt like this game really just like expected you to know everything that was going on already. But then I looked up some of it, because at a certain point you just get introduced to this character Teresa, and then later this character Lawrence, who are like your tech person and your doctor respectively.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, these must be characters from the first game, because immediately once we are introduced to them, it's just like everyone knows who they are, and there's no introduction section. They're just here. No,
Yeah.
they're not in Syphon Filter 1. This is the introduction to
Oh,
them, and
cool.
they just are here. And it's like, oh, okay, what?
Neat.
Like, it just doesn't do a great job, I think, of, telling you who the characters are. I think I had that problem with the villains as well. There were 3 or 4 different, just like white, bald, old guys in suits, and I was like, I don't know which one of you is which, and I don't know if I should care which one of you is which. The only villain who I really like took notice of was, I guess, technically Gregorov, but he was just annoying because I had to chase him for like 3 levels, and then Chance, because he was like the big
surprise
twist
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so like
Who-
those were the 2, and everyone else
I'm
I was like,
assuming- I'm assuming was he in the first game?
I didn't look that up actually. I don't know for sure, but I would assume so. I would hope so.
He feels to me like he wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't know.
You just introduce a new plucky guy who's your friend. Oh, he disappeared. Where'd he go? I don't know. Oh, he's the bad guy.
Yeah. I will say this game seems to like really I think it thinks that it has a more like impactful and meaningful story than it really does have, because there's so many characters who are introduced and then don't really do anything, and then they die, and Gabe is upset about it, but like, I don't know who this man is. Like, Ramirez gets dropped, I don't know who that is. Teresa gets dropped, I don't know who that is at all.
Other than she was with us for a large chunk of this game,
yeah,
and then dies at the finish line.
she just but she didn't even like really do much. Like, she's like the lady who did some bombs, and I was like, okay, cool.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they like sort of hint at maybe a romance between Gabe and Leon, but that doesn't seem to go anywhere. Granted, there's still like 6 games after this, so maybe. I don't know. It just felt like this story was better in someone's head. You know what I mean? Like, someone thought out this thing and they were like, this is going to be great. And then when it came time to execute that story, they like didn't know how to put those pieces on paper,
I definitely, the story definitely didn't connect with me like at all. And I tried for a while, for more than half the game. I was like, hey, what's going on? But by the end, I was just like, I don't. But the Chance reveal. Wait, first of all, I kept being like, is he gonna show me a bad guy? Because people kept mentioning how he wasn't around. I was like, okay, is he gonna like stab us in the back or something? And then, but like by the time it happened, I was like, okay, Chance is a bad guy now. Like, I didn't care.
Okay, yeah, I have confirmed Chance is not in the first game.
Yeah, makes sense.
He's in the second game and he's in the third game as a multiplayer skin. That is all he does.
There's some interesting like set pieces, I suppose. Like, as far as actual levels that you go through, I mean, a lot of it is just we're inside a facility or we're outside in some snow. Like, that is a good chunk of it, but there's every once in a while you'll hit a place that it's just like, okay, this is visually better.
Because another one of the games that I was reading that they took a lot of inspiration from for this game was Tomb Raider, and I feel like that reads like real loud. Specifically, I mean, obviously, like when you're going through the museum section, that feels very good, but also like the way that the jumping happens, which I personally hate. One of my biggest pet peeves in video games is the video game that doesn't give you a jump button, but then expects you to jump by just like running to the edge of a platform, and then the game chooses how and where to jump. Because if it does that, and then it is still possible for you to miss that jump, then that is unacceptable. That is like one of the greatest crimes in video games. I hate that so much.
That's not great. Definitely awkward. Now, was I not paying attention, or is that the case and they don't tell you that? Like, you have to do that very early on. You have to jump over a little ravine or something, like in the first level. And I was like, there's no jump button. How do I do it? Am I not supposed to go this way? Where do I go? And then I just ran off the ledge and there I went. I was like, okay.
I think that because there's that one part of the first level where you have to like jump across like the little, I don't know, waterfall rivery thing that's been made.
Yeah.
I think there's like one other jump you have to do before that to like climb up to a thing. And so I guess that was supposed to be the one where you were supposed to like clock like, oh, okay, this is how I jump in this.
I don't remember jump. I remember climbing up, but I don't remember a jump.
The jump on that level like didn't bother me too much because I felt like it was pretty hard to miss. When you get to the museum level and you have to like jump across the little Stonehenge thing
to the vent,
yeah,
and your jump is too long.
It's like this doesn't
to land
work.
on the I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
But yeah, no, you're right. There were some like pretty standout, I think, little set piece moments that I think are pretty cool. I liked the we talked about the train, obviously. I think that that's a good moment. I like the airplane crash, the second one. I think
Yeah,
that that's
you have
pretty
to.
cool looking.
That was didn't something more or less exactly like that happen in Perfect Dark as well?
Yes, yes,
I remember going to a plane crash, finding the thing.
yeah. It's in Perfect Dark. Air Force One crashes, and then you have to like
Yeah,
find the
that's
president.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah. And I
and
also
I'll
think
say,
the bridge I think is neat. Um, although it was a little frustrating with the like, okay, so I can't be seen by the guys up on top of the bridge, so I need to
yeah,
go and do the stealth aspect of that level kind of sucked ass, but the like climbing the multiple levels of the bridge and trying to get to the C4, that
yeah,
was
I
neat. That
agree.
was a cool
There are
idea.
parts of the bridge that were really cool, and then you just get spotted for not lining up the shot in the right space that the game wanted you to. So that was annoying.
Yeah, it's that
I,
level's pretty hit and miss for me. I'm going
I
through my notes here,
also
and I think that's pretty much it as far as like cool
I like
moments
the
go.
idea behind the final boss fight.
Yeah, I guess the idea is cool. I think
The
the execution is
idea
is
of it,
doo doo butter.
where
Um,
there's the helicopter blades that you basically have to blast him into to get his head knocked off.
yeah, and
Um,
it's weird because the last like two levels introduce these like even stronger units that you can't headshot because basically everyone in the entire game, with the exception of like the the security guards at the police or the prison, pretty much everyone has a flak jacket.
yeah.
But then right at the end, they're like, and these guys are also wearing face masks, so you can't shoot them
Mhm.
at all. And then you're like, okay, so what am I supposed? Here's a grenade launcher. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Just
the third guy shows up, like Chance shows up for his boss fight, and he's like, and now I have a suit where grenades don't work either. And it's like, well, what the hell am I? What do you want me to do?
so the only way I had an actual like revelation during that fight, because the only reason I knew what to do was because I was trying to run away from him, and I accidentally myself ran into the helicopter blades.
Oh,
And I was like, "Oh, the fuck are those doing there?"
yeah. No, I
And
when I
then
read on the thing, I just
once I
looked it up.
realized, okay, get the thing, shoot him, and I was like, well, it doesn't kill him, but it knocks him back. Oh,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like you're supposed to somehow accidentally get yourself killed by those helicopter blades and then figure it out like that. I don't
It
know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the like thought process of that is. I feel like older games had a lot of that though, where and this is certainly guilty of it, where it was just like there's a solution, you better find it, or go to the playground and find somebody else who knows it because the internet doesn't really exist yet. So good luck,
Mm,
buddy. Yeah. Although to be
mm.
fair, when I was looking through the manual of this game, there is a helpline.
Is it still active?
I didn't call it.
Well, how are we not going to call that? We have to call it right now.
Okay, here you call it. I'll give you the number.
Was it going to charge me?
I doubt it. I doubt because it probably doesn't exist anymore.
All right. 1-900-933-7669. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna try to put it on speaker, but I doubt Discord will pick it up. Mm,
Yeah,
gone.
makes
It's
sense.
gone.
Upsetting. But yeah, it specifically in the thing says like PlayStation hint line here, hint for all games produced by 989 Studios. So I guess I don't know what other games they made, but I guess they was like call this number and we'll tell you how to kill Chance. So I guess that was the solution.
Just shoot him.
For
Just shoot
me,
him with grenades.
like I said, I just read the thing that was like, okay, he's wearing the super armor, so I can't shoot him,
Yeah.
and that his armor's also immune to grenades, so I can't blow him up. So I was like, no, screw this, and I just googled it because I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I'm not gonna.
We live in the time where that can happen, so I don't blame you one
Yeah,
second.
I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That doesn't feel like a fun use of my time. Let's see what else is in here. I have a couple of little trivia things
All right.
that I wanted to throw in here. So there's that one bit in the trivia section on their own website. They have like things we messed up. And one of them is that do you remember that security or SWAT officer rather that like you help beat the snipers and then what's his ass shows up and just kills her anyway?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So at one point, like right before that, Gabe is talking to her and he's like, "You're out of ammo," and then she shoots her gun, and no one
Oh,
addresses the fact that bullets come out of her gun.
I think Gabe's just an idiot.
I think he's maybe just stupid.
He tried to do that thing where it's like you've got no bullets left, and she's like, I've got 5
I
bullets
have
left.
several bullets.
He
I'm
just
literally
wasn't
a police
counting.
officer.
It's like, I thought I
Uh,
could bluff you into thinking you had no bullets left.
the gas grenade launcher has an ammo capacity of 5, but visually has 6 cylinders on it.
All right, right on.
Vince Hayden, who is the guy at the end of the thing, who I don't think we really talk to basically at all throughout the entire game, but he's one of the only people from that first cutscene with the like axis of evil in the shadows, who is still alive at the end, who is not, what's her name, Mara Amarov or whatever, the Russian lady.
Sure.
At the end, he is talking to her, and she's like, with these other people out of the way, now you can be president. He's Secretary of State of the United States, so that's not how that works. Like,
No.
they somehow, I first of all, I don't even remember the president like being at all related to what was happening. I don't know if one of the people we killed was the president of the United States in canon, so I don't really know why they were even saying that.
Possible.
But even if they were, and also the vice president was dead, it doesn't go to the Secretary of State, it goes to the Speaker of the House. And
Yeah.
so in the third game, when they do a flashback to this moment, they change it from you can be president to you will have the power.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just literally a mess up.
So again,
Except it doesn't even make sense.
they didn't mess up. She's just stupid.
She might
It's
just
fine.
be stupid. But
Gabe is
I mean,
stupid. She's stupid. It
Yeah.
all works out.
everyone is stupid except Leon.
Yeah, she seemed all right. Although she did have the Syphon Filter in her this whole time.
Yeah, which like it must not be that good of a virus, frankly. She had it from second one to like basically the credits, and she is fine.
Yeah, I want to say,
Like she's okay.
the game kind of takes place in quick succession, but we go to a lot of places. There's some globe trotting, and
We go.
she never really stops fighting or stealthing or doing her thing. She definitely has a cough.
She's coughing the whole time. Yeah, she's
She's got
got
a cough the whole game. The
got
cough gets
laryngitis.
worse. She probably can't taste food or smell. I don't know.
Let's see. We start in Colorado, and then we go to the Farcom Expo, which I don't actually know where that is. I think probably in New York. I think they say that. Then we go with Leon to Moscow, and then we go to wherever Algier prison is. I think that's just a different place in Russia. And then we come back to New York for the biolab and the ending of the game. So yeah, so we were Colorado to New York to Russia to New York.
Yeah, that's
And she's just kind of fine the whole time.
quite a bit. I never really felt like she was gonna die.
No, it never really felt like a ticking clock. Like there's that one scene where she's like sitting on the bed coughing, but then she just like gets up and goes and shoots some guys in the next level. So it just I don't
Strong
know.
lady. We stand strong women in video games.
I mean, I will say that is one of the things that I sort of take away from this game is like it had a decent number of like pretty capable women. Like Teresa was a capable member of the team. Leon was, in my opinion, a more capable member of the team than Gabe.
Yeah.
One of the only villains who doesn't die as a lady. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you got something there. I don't know if it was even what you were going for, but at least you got something out of it, I guess.
I'm afraid
It's-
I might have run out of things to say about this game.
Yeah, it's a tough game to talk about because it really is just like it feels very much like it's just the same thing for I don't know 10, 11 hours
Yeah.
of just go into a corridor, get shot by a guy. Now you know where he is, so next time you go into the corridor, now you can shoot him first, hopefully.
What if Metal Gear was a little worse?
What if Metal Gear? And I haven't played the original Metal Gear Solid, but I would hazard to guess maybe quite a bit worse.
Well, Metal Gear Solid definitely has some points that bust your balls super hard, but I mean, I at least remember the names of characters from Metal Gear Solid, and I won't remember anybody from here.
I'll probably
I mean,
remember
the closest
like the main.
the closest I'll come is Gabe Logan and Leon. What's her name? But I don't think within 6 months from now I'll even remember that.
You probably remember Gabe Logan.
We'll see.
It feels like a very
When we-
like action
know what?
man name.
When we get to the next Syphon Filter game, we'll see if I remember.
I'll give you a quiz at the end of the year 2000 games, and I'll be like, what was that main character's name? And we'll see if you remember at that point.
I won't.
I will test your ability. So Skyler, yeah, I think we've said all we can about this very strange, maybe not great game using our tried and true and definitely not stolen from IGN review score, in which A 10 is a masterpiece, a 9 is amazing, an 8 is great, a 7 is good, a 6 is okay, a 5 is mediocre, a 4 is bad, a 3 is awful, a 2 is painful, and 1 is unbearable. Where would you, my dearest friend, rate Syphon Filter to Electric Filteroo?
I was originally thinking, because I mentioned before, there were very small pockets throughout this game where I was like, oh, is this fun now? And it never seemed to last.
Mm-hmm.
But then after our conversation, 'cause I was originally thinking, it's between a mediocre and okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm willing to give it that 0.5. I think I'm just gonna say this is a 5 out of 10 for me, which is rough because I know that there's people out there that really like this game. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see the people who really like this game, like what the last time they played it was, because I feel like a lot of it is that it just doesn't really hold up. I think this is a franchise that does have legs. I mean, you could reboot like a spy thriller in 2025, or even just do like a remake of Syphon Filter 1 and 2, maybe make it one game, and then sort of polish it back up and make the controls not feel like doo-doo butter. Then you probably get a pretty decent game out of that, like genuinely. And I mean, PlayStation right now is looking for live service games to try and, get something going. You could put a multiplayer mode in there where it's like basically do the Splinter Cell, what is it, Spies versus Mercenaries or whatever,
Sure.
like do that mode, but do it with that. Like there's a lot, I feel like there's a lot of room for people who like this franchise. Like there are things that could happen in the future that would make you very happy. I don't think that this holds up really at all.
No.
But I also I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't give it a 4. I don't think it's bad. I think it's really telling of its time and just not fun to play anymore. So I think I don't know. I think that I would give it, I think I'll give it the 5.5. I think I'll give it the 5.5 because I think it is I think it's like slightly above mediocre because it is at the point where like if someone told me that they like this game, I'd be like, yeah, all right, yeah. It was like I wouldn't fight them super hard on it. I'd just be like, I thought it was kind of bad. So I think that feels about right. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable saying it was like okay, and I'm certainly not about to say it's good. Like I would never recommend this game to somebody, but I wouldn't be mad if someone said that they liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm landing.
If you're listening to this and you're a Syphon Filter fan, like of the series or this game in particular, you are a stronger gamer than us. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You get the I'm Better Than RSR award.
Yes.
And we will send that to you in the mail. But you have to pay for postage.
Yeah. Leave a comment with your address and a list of your fears, and we will have it shipped right off to you. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for this Syphon Filter retrospective, I guess.
I should say that the aggregate score for this game is an official 5.25 out of 10, which does put it at the bottom of our 2000 list thus far, underneath Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, I think that's about right. I definitely had more fun with Crazy Taxi than this.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than because it was a lot shorter and had better music.
That's true.
But thank you, everybody, for watching. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-Bit.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
Play more games.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip.